pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you.
We had a executive session and discussed some legal issues that we have going on in the executive session. Okay, public comments. Time allotted for an agenda matter is 5 minutes. Otherwise, it's 3 minutes for a non-agenda do you have the timer? Where's the timer? Okay. Deb Pop.
Hi, Deb Pop, 287 Garriston Road. I'm here because I was made aware again that that people are being told that I've stole things from the offices of the township. I'd like to know if anybody on the board has been told that I've stole things from the township, the offices.
I haven't heard anything.
You talking recently, Deb, or what?
Well, this has been going on for a while. So whether it be in the past or present, I'd like to know if anybody has been told that.
So have you heard names of anyone that has said that?
Yeah, Tony Miller.
Oh,
Yeah, laugh, Tony.
I haven't heard that from anyone, and I haven't heard that out of his mouth either, so.
Deb, I personally have never heard that kind of accusation against your character. In fact, quite the opposite in this township. You're held in high regard to the folks that I have interacted with, ma'am.
And that's why I'm bringing it out.
Amen.
And not going to say anything, Dave. Coward.
Be brave, you stand up.
Yeah, I mean, anybody. Because this isn't the first time I've heard this. People have came up to me and said this. And I'm pretty tired of it. So
I'm surprised. How long have you been gone?
I've been gone since 21.
I don't know how people are still talking about it, to be honest with you, but.
Well, that's...
I have heard that Tony said that she went through the files, she's going through the files, and you know you did. And I did not say that today, tonight. I'm standing up.
Is this an open forum?
No, 'cause I'm just getting ready to tell her that you have to come up to the podium, please. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I have no reason to lie to you, and he has never told me that personally.
Okay.
And I mean, if he would, I wouldn't have any problem telling you that.
Thank you, Deb. Tony Miller?
It never stops. Tony Miller, 115 St. Andrews Way. Good evening, board. I'd like to start by, I'd just like to remind the board and other people that this is an official board meeting with a posted agenda. And while we have 3 minutes to speak under public comment on non-agenda items, this is not an open forum, nor is it a debate. That said, Jane Harmon, Mario Eckerd, and I are unified in committing to transparency and fiscal responsibility for the township residents and taxpayers without compromising public safety. We will follow these principles and core values to make only well-informed decisions after having the opportunity to review all relevant data on all issues. The residents and taxpayers of this Township should expect no less. Now, if you'd like to meet us in person, we're having a Meet the Candidate night at Rocket Pizza on Wednesday, October 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. Come out, discuss your issues and concerns with us. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to meet you. Anybody. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Jane Harmon?
Good evening, Board. Jane Harmon, 205 Hemlock Lane, Edwards, PA. A couple questions regarding what was, I looked at all the supporting documents for tonight's agenda, and I have just a couple questions regarding that. First of all, when I'm looking at the reports, some of the reports are sideways. May I just make a simple request if they could be turned? Because my computer, and when I use it on the phone, if I even try to turn it to look at it, it keeps switching sideways. So then I'm like this, and the only way I can read it is if I print it out to read it. So I don't want to have to print everything out. So can we try to work on that? Just a simple request. Thank you. Okay.
Wendy?
What's that?
I
Wendy,
said-
thank you, Wendy. I appreciate it. I know it probably comes in that way, and it's just you're just uploading, but it's really hard to read it. The intergovernment agreement. So I'm going to address you. Law enforcement agency. Is this for Cedar Cliff also, the entire school district, or is it just with 3 different what schools are that involved? It seemed like when I read it, it was kind of vague. I was wondering if it went the
Referring
whole.
to the bus stop one?
Yeah, that was what the intergovernment agreement.
That, I didn't look at the intergovernmental agreement that was signed and sent back.
Okay.
But I saw the draft before it was.
Okay.
And I believe that was with all the police departments that cover the West Shore School District. So essentially, they're having their buses equipped with cameras that will catch individuals that violate the law and pass a school bus when the lights are activated. And that agreement is for us in cooperation with them to assist them. Basically, the only thing the police department will be doing is, and it's a civil citation, the police department is not issuing the citations. The company is issuing the citations. So when a violation occurs, it goes to the police department in which the violation occurred in.
So it could go in Fairview Township. So it's not that you're covering those. That was my question. Is you're not
No,
covering?
so we will
Okay.
view the videos that occurred within the township.
Okay.
And determine, A, that a violation occurred, click yes. I haven't seen it yet. So yes or no, that a violation occurred, and then from there, it goes to the company, and they issue a civil citation.
Oh, okay.
Which I believe is, don't quote me on this, it was a while back when we had the Zoom session. I think it's $300 civil citation.
Okay.
And
And then is it an automatic 6 months to lose? And do you
No,
guys
no,
get
no, no.
involved with that, or
It's-
they don't? Oh, it's just a,
civil citation.
Oh,
So
okay.
That means they'll be coming after civilly, right? Whereas if we issue a bus citation, you have points associated, a 6-month suspension. This does not. It's basically, to put it in terms that you might have better understanding, those speed cameras that are along Interstate 78
Oh, yeah.
and Turnpike. If they catch you, they send you a citation.
In the
That's
mail.
a civil
Okay,
citation.
okay.
It has no points.
Okay.
So essentially, we would say, yes, a violation occurred, and if someone appeals that citation, then that company will actually go to court and present the case. The police
Okay.
department doesn't, unless they appeal that decision. Then we would actually have to go testify.
Okay.
For every citation that's issued, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, is it $50 that the police department gets for every citation that's issued?
25.
25.
25. Okay. Comes to the police department.
It comes to the township.
Oh, the township. Okay, great. All right. So then the other rule, it used to be in Pennsylvania, wasn't it like a 6 months and then points? You
That's
lose your loss?
still in effect.
It's still in effect. So this isn't going over that. It's both. They're going to have both.
No, so
Possibly.
if they catch it on their red light camera
Okay.
on the school bus, we would click whether a violation
Right, you
occurred.
said that.
If we observe a school bus violation on the street, then we will actually cite them underneath the proper section underneath the vehicle
Oh,
code,
you
which
have
is-
to observe it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because my sister's a bus driver and she's gone to court many times for it, but she just they call the police station and they come over, take a report, and then they go and they get a 6
And we
months.
still have the ability to do that.
Okay.
if they're not capturing on the red light
Okay.
camera. But this agreement is for us to enter in the agreement so that we will actually review the footage, say whether a violation occurred, and then go through the civil mechanism on that aspect.
All right, thank you.
Doesn't take away our other ability to do it.
Okay. Thank you, that's all I had for you tonight.
Absolutely.
Dave Parsons?
David Parsons, 201 Waniel Drive in Edders. Evening residents, board. I talked about the planning commission. We had 2 vacancies and asked those interested party to apply. But what is the planning commission? It is an advisory committee to the board of supervisors that review land development plans. When a land development plan is submitted by an applicant, it's reviewed by township staff and the township engineer. Later, the application is submitted to planning commission. Our job is to review the plan, which may be a sketch plan, a single page for like a small subdivision, or for a warehouse or an apartment complex. We also research any waivers that are submitted. We make sure that the whole thing is, everything is correct according to, we're governed by the subdivision land development ordinances, zoning ordinances, and the stormwater management ordinances. And most importantly, we make sure everything complies best interests of township residents. Because once land is changed, it's changed forever. Who comes before the planning commission? Well, meetings are held here, second Monday as needed of each month. It could be an individual looking to subdivide a plot of land. It could be an attorney, traffic engineer, project manager for larger subdivisions. And the duties of the planning commission are to review the plan, look at any applicable waivers, which is they want to do something different, the applicant, against the ordinance, and ask questions at our meetings. And what I like about it, being as a chairman, we have members come from different backgrounds, so in different work environments, and we get a variety of questions and answers, so that's very helpful. So I've been planning commission, boy, time flies, 12 years already, and been honored to serve as chairman for the past 5 years. I really enjoy being a member. And what's nice now compared to when I started 12 years ago, you can watch our meetings on the township website, get an idea, what's involved. And if interested, go to the website and download an application. And if you want to see me later, ask questions, I'm here. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Dave, we do have one person on the agenda tonight for approval, and there is another candidate which I need to reach out to and see if they're still interested. I'll do that this week. All right.
Okay, Maxine?
Maxine Kaufman, 540 Paddletown Road. As a taxpayer in this township, I have a question for the board. How much did Tony Miller walk out the door with and give himself when he retired from his position? I need to know that as a taxpayer. And how he could give himself thousands of dollars.
Well, it's not that he gave himself thousands of dollars, it's the way our system is built. And I don't have that number off the top of my head, so kindly call Aaron.
Is it like 27,000, 37,000 taxpayer dollars?
I can't speak of that
Yeah,
here, honestly.
I don't have it in front of me.
There was
it's-
nothing shady or anything going on. It's policy, and when he retired, he got what he was owed.
It's unused sick time, unused vacation time, and that stuff is.
It's the same policy we have for administration as we have for the police department.
Okay, now I just have one more statement, and, I say the truth. And I was called a liar by Claire Wintermeyer for saying the truth. Nobody backed me up on the board when I said that he started the business with the sewer. And he called me a liar when I was sitting on this board. Does anybody remember him saying that?
The motion to look into
The sewer,
To look into
Right.
feasibility?
right.
Yeah, it was Claire.
Yeah, and he called me a liar right here.
Okay.
So I just want to clear that up. And then we're looking for transparency. Every meeting that I've been to, people say, I want transparency. Well, we got this one and this one that got on the ballot without, like, behind closed doors. They were supposed to have till the 15th. They were appointed before that. That is wrong. So they're on the ballot with 0 votes from the residents of this township. 0 votes. So if you're looking for transparency, you're not going to get it. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes for September 9th meeting.
I'll make
Which
a
actually
motion.
would have been the August meeting. However, we didn't have a quorum due to the fact Claire was out and I was out.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for September 9th.
Looking for a second.
I'll second that motion.
Questions or concerns? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, moving on to land development. There is none tonight, so we're going to move on to reports. First on there is public safety. Chief?
The only thing I had to add to the public safety report for the fire department and EMS is I want to make everybody aware that Newberry Fire Department is having a bingo on September 26th, October 10th, and the 24th at 5:30 in the evening. And the York Haven Fire Department has a corn soup sale scheduled for November 8th. On to the police department report. For the month of August, our agency handled 1,146 calls for service. We had 1 aggravated assault, 1 burglary, 11 thefts, 7 drug offenses, 4 DUIs, 8 simple assaults, 1 sexual assault, and 3 harassments. Additionally, they respond to 194 other calls for service, including 15 domestic-related incidents, 30 traffic accidents. They issued 88 citations, 140 warnings, 16 non-traffic citations, and made 37 misdemeanor and/or felony criminal arrests. The last thing that I would like to say is I'd like to thank the board for the moment of silence that occurred prior to this meeting. Losing those individuals from our neighboring municipality, Detective Mark Baker, Detective Isaiah Emmenheiser, and Detective Sergeant Cody Baker is truly a loss to not only their communities, their police department, but their families and everybody. And I want to let you know by the bottom of my heart and from my officers, I truly thank you for the moment of silence. They will be laid to rest on Thursday, I believe at 12 o'clock. The services are at the Living Hope Church down in York.
Is it open to the public?
I read that it is not
Private.
open to the
That
public.
was
think it's
private,
just
just
for,
private, yeah.
Family and police, I think it's just for.
Thank you.
I thought I heard it was for family and police officers. or-
Yeah, it's family and police officers. Then there's a viewing area at another church for the general public, but they're suggesting that it's probably going to be filled up rather quick. So if anybody wants to go to that. That's all part of it. It is listed in their plan of events for the day under their obituaries. Is that it, Chief? That's it. All right. James, you have anything to add to your report?
Nothing to add to my report.
Bill, you got anything to add to your report?
Nothing to add.
Jane, anything to your report? Scott? Brent? Building and Planning Commission zoning, do we have anything under that?
No.
Okay. Parks and Recreation,
Nothing?
Events Committee,
Yes. I just want to say how successful we were for September 20th Music in the Park. We had a great turnout for the second event over there. As it continues to grow, we're going to continue to have more music in the park over there. Our next event is October 4th. It's going to be over at the shops of Susquehanna from 4 to 9. A lot of kids' activities will be there. We're going to be doing face painting and pumpkin painting, so please come out as a family and join us.
Aaron, you got anything to add to your report?
No, I don't.
Okay, we're up to the supervisors. Rob?
Just to thank Chief, Lieutenant, and all the officers for all they do. That event that took place obviously made me think of you guys. Hopefully we never have to experience that this close to home, but it's a terrible experience. I just thank you guys. That's all I have.
Okay. Diane?
Nothing, thank you.
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. Then it comes back to me. One of the things I want to bring up is our camera. For everybody out yonder in Facebook land and Twitter and all the places that want to sit and complain that we don't know how to operate our camera system, I'll have you know that we've had our IT people here, the people that installed the cameras have been here, their representatives from where they purchased the cameras have been here, and they're all working to fix the cameras. So it has nothing to do with anybody operating it from within the township. It's all out there in space someplace. The other thing I'd like to say is, as of tonight, I'm going to turn my resignation in as the chairman of the Board of Supervisors in Newberry Township. So it'll go over to Diane. Because of other stuff that we have going on, all I keep hearing about is we're not transparent and we don't follow the sunshine law, so we can't appoint a new chairman tonight, so that'll have to happen at the next meeting. So, Diane?
This is news to me, so I wasn't prepared for this. Okay, new business.
I gotta go to old business first.
Yeah, Vice Chair, we need to do old business.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Old business.
Old business. Old business. Looking for a motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement with West Shore School District.
I'll make that motion. I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Hey, I want to make a comment quick on that. Apparently, the agreement that they signed and gave back to us is not the agreement that we have on the agenda. They had the original agreement that was given to us, and that agreement didn't give us an out. Basically, all parties had to agree to terminate the agreement, where I felt if it's too much of a burden on our departments, we needed an out ourselves. Yeah. So we had a 90-day clause in it, and apparently the one they signed does not have that in there. But the one you're voting on tonight does have it in there, so we'll have to resubmit it to them for their approval. Excuse me? The one that was online, is that the correct one? It should be. It's the same one we have here in the packet. It'd be terms of termination. Should say 90 days. We have the option.
Any other discussion? Looking for a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
We already have.
Oh, sorry. Right. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm a little shook up by you just throwing this my way. New business. I want to say how proud we are that WellSpan thought of our community to build our hospital here. It's absolutely amazing. We're thrilled that you brought it to us and we have it so close to home now. We're going to have a presentation from WellSpan. We have some major figures joining us here tonight. Thank you, Vicki, for joining us, and Daniel and the rest of you. So please give a few minutes. I gave them 15 minutes to share what we are about to experience. Yes, sir, you sure can.
Thank you very much for having us here, board and residents. We're really, really excited about this. You know, this concept is, you know, a smaller facility concept, but with the small facility comes a lot of efficiency. So as I talk through this, we're going to hear a lot of things that are very, very different in healthcare with this type of facility than we've ever experienced here before, frankly, that the country has ever experienced. So I'm Dan Hernandez. I'm the vice president of the neighborhood hospitals and president of the WellSpan Newberry, Shrewsbury, and Carlisle hospitals. A little bit about me. I have 3 boys, so you can imagine how busy I am, and I'm always in the emergency department. As a kid, my parents actually credit me for expanding the ER at my local area because I was either in there for flipping over my handles on the bike, breaking a wrist, breaking an arm, or get a BB stuck in my nose. Not joking, right? So I was in there all the time, right? And then you can imagine I did what my mom wanted me to do the most and joined became an infantry Marine. So continued that progress. Went to school, graduated from the University of Phoenix, both my bachelor's and master's. And, while I was in the Marine Corps, that's what really got me into healthcare, right? Service to others is the rent we pay for a room here on earth. So that's what really drove me to healthcare and continued my service to the communities that we live in. Next slide, please. And I'd like to bring up Vicki Diamond. She's the Senior Vice President for the Central Region to do a quick introduction about herself.
Thanks, Dan. We are very excited about bringing this hospital to this community. And I'm very excited about the fact that we get to do that. And before you know it, it'll be here and open in February. So that's not too far from now. I'm Vicki Diamond. I currently serve as the Senior Vice President for WellSpan Health. Prior to that, I served as the President of York Hospital, the President of WellSpan Surgery and Rehabilitation Hospital, and I've spent more than 37 years in healthcare. So this is the culmination of bringing healthcare into the community, and again, very excited about that.
Yeah, and without Vicki and her leadership and her vision and innovation, this wouldn't be possible. She's really led this effort from the WellSpan team to bring this to life. Now I'd like to bring up our medical director so you can at least get to know who is going to be leading the physician effort for these hospitals, Dr. Nick Bertoni.
And thank you, board and residents, for inviting us here tonight. Like Dan and Vicki said, we are really excited for this opportunity. So my name's Nick Bertoni. I've been practicing emergency medicine for over 10 years. I've been part of WellSpan for close to 5 years now. And I'm going to be the medical director for the emergency department here, along with our other neighborhood hospitals in Carlisle and Shrewsbury. I'm going to be helping with operations of all 3 hospitals. But I'll be working clinically here at Newberry. So I'll be working in the hospital here, helping take care of patients.
Wonderful.
And next slide, please. And lastly, I just want to introduce, she's not here tonight, Jamie Wardle. She just started, so she's going through orientation, but she's going to be the nurse that leads the day-to-day operations. She's got tons of experience, starting at 16 years old within EMS. She was a paramedic, flight paramedic. She even rose up the ranks to a CNO of a hospital here locally, but decided that she really wants to be back at the bedside. So tons of experience, great person, tons of energy, and she's going to be perfect for this hospital. Next slide, please. All right, so let's get into this model. How did this model come about? Hospital of 10 beds on the ER side, 10 beds on the inpatient side seems very, very small. Well, an Army physician that served in combat in both Iraq and Afghanistan, what he did is he built field hospitals in combat, right? For the sole purpose of having a place closer to where, somebody gets wounded, where they can fly, stabilize, and then fly to the major hospital, right? And born out of that was the efficiencies that we're going to be talking about. Because we're a small facility, with my previous experience, the infection rates are extremely low, next to none, right? Which is because of how fast we are and because of our nurse to patient ratios. And if you're too sick for our hospital, or if you need to go somewhere with a higher level of acuity capabilities, we'll be able to get you there with our expedited transfer processes, right? So we have time markers to get you into a hospital or an accepting physician for another hospital within 4 hours, 1 hour, or even be able to fly you out if needed, right? So it's really bringing emergency level care close to home, where we can do pretty much whatever a normal hospital does. Stabilize you and get you the appropriate facility, whether that's discharge, outpatient care with WellSpan, whether that is admitted at our facility, or whether that's sending you to a larger facility that has the capabilities that you need, right? So that's really what we are. Next slide, please. I'm going to bring up Dr. Bertoni again. He might as well stay up here because he's got a couple more things he's going to talk about from the clinical side.
All right. Thanks, Dan. So, I was thinking today, one of the more common questions I get from friends and family is, where should I seek medical care? If there is an acute problem, should I call my family doctor? Should I go to an urgent care? Should I go to one of the local emergency departments? And there's problems with each of these modes of healthcare. Our primary care offices, they're not open 24 hours a day. Urgent cares, the same thing. They're not open 24 hours, and they're not always capable of handling all type of medical emergencies. Our emergency departments are fantastic, but there's times when they're very busy, and it's not fair to us as patients that we may have to wait for several hours to receive care. So I think that's where we step in at the hospital here in Newberry. We are a fully functional emergency department. We're going to be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're going to have board-certified emergency metaphysicians on staff 24 hours a day. Even though we're small, it's only a 10-bed ER, we are fully capable and will be fully prepared of seeing any type of medical condition or medical emergency. We're going to have the capability to perform a lot of the same testing you'd get at a regular emergency department. We can do blood work, we can do x-rays, CAT scans, so it's a lot of the similar tests, and you're going to get the exact same care as you'd get at any other emergency department. As we see up here, we do have listed a lot of the commonly treated conditions, abdominal pain, chest pain, sprains, broken bones, any injuries. There may be situations or scenarios where you are diagnosed with something that's very serious, a heart attack or a stroke, or a condition that requires an emergency surgery. In those scenarios, we're capable of managing your care, providing stabilization, and then one of the beauties of WellSpan in this system is we have a really superb transfer system already in place. So that process would be seamless from the patient perspective, where we can help expedite that transfer to get you to one of our bigger hospitals where you can be under the care of a specialist. But like I said, we're really excited. Even though we're small, we can really function and act as any other typical emergency department can.
So with our facility and with our size, previous experience in running these facilities, we've seen an average of 5 to 10 minute wait times to see a physician, and an average of about 80 minutes to, check in, see the physician, and be discharged if that's your course of care, right? 80 minutes, just imagine that, right? ER visits, capabilities close to home, short wait times, and short time in the emergency department. So how do we do it? Next slide, please. This is our facility, 18,000 square feet. This is where the efficiencies lie, right? Because we're such a small facility, one thing that plagues larger emergency departments is lab turnaround times, which often range between 60 and 90 minutes. The average in these facilities, from my previous experience, is 15 minutes. Right? Imaging. Right? If you need to get an x-ray, if you need to get a CT, if you need to go get images. Something else that plagues larger facilities is that you have to call patient transport. Patient transport has to come get you. That's time that you're waiting. Right? We don't have patient transport because our CT and x-ray machine is literally across the hall. Right? So that's about 150 minutes knocked off your emergency department visit right there. The rest of it is the small footprint. 10 beds on the 10 beds on the top are the ER beds. The nurse's station is there. The 10 beds on the bottom are the inpatient side. Right? So just those two things knock off so much time. And then the size of the facility with our staff not having to run around to find things like a normal larger facility would knocks off another 10, 15 minutes. That's how we do it. That's how we, and because of the short length of stay for all of our discharge patients is the reason why we have shorter wait times, right? And then the other thing that we do is as we're hiring our staff, the one thing that is not in our vocabulary is this is not my job, right? As the hospital president and, previously I've been seen mopping floors. I've been seen changing bed linen. I've been seen wiping down beds, right? That's because we need to make sure that the docs are doing, able to do physician work, the nurses are able to do nurses work, and so on and so forth, right? So if we're busy, I'll get in there and I'll get dirty, right? Next slide, please. As a result of what we've been able to accomplish, what we've seen is 88th percentile in patient experience scores, right? So this is really a model that is good, fast, and nice. Good refers to the excellent high-quality care that you're going to receive from the WellSpan physicians. Fast is short wait times when you check in, getting in front of a doctor, and nice, obviously, the high patient experience scores. And how we achieve this is through partnership, physician communication, nurse communication. That's how we do this, and making sure that our facility is clean, and when you arrive, you're greeted, respectfully and well, and then you're moved back fast. Next slide, please. Bring up Dr. Bertoni one last time to talk about inpatient capabilities, and then we'll get into how we do that.
So this is one of the more, I think, unique aspects of our facility, and it separates us from a freestanding emergency department or an urgent care. Is we have the ability to admit patients or to hospitalize you if a patient or family member is really too sick to go home. So if someone is hospitalized, you would be managed by a hospitalist, and what's unique as well is they work remotely, meaning they provide all of their care virtually through telemedicine. I know that seems crazy and far-fetched, but based on our experience, patients are actually much more satisfied with this model. They actually get to spend a lot more face-to-face time with the physicians, and it's all the communications done through pretty high-tech audiovisual units, which I know Dan will touch on. So common things that we can admit patients for, think chest pain. If we're able to determine that you're not having a heart attack or any other type of cardiac emergency, we're capable of admitting you to our hospitals, providing observation, and then helping to arrange outpatient follow-up with our cardiology team. I know we're coming up on cold and flu season, so there's scenarios where you're diagnosed with pneumonia or the flu, and really too sick to be taken care of at home. We can manage your care at our hospitals, and we can provide a lot of the same care that you'd get at a traditional hospital if you need IV fluids or antibiotics or oxygen. Other conditions that which we can manage would be exacerbations of some chronic medical conditions like congestive heart failure, asthma, COPD, diabetic emergencies. This is bread and butter for us, and like I mentioned, we're fully capable of providing a lot of the same care you'd get at a traditional larger hospital. As I mentioned before, if someone is hospitalized and their condition deteriorates or they develop a medical emergency, we would help arrange a transfer for those patients to get to one of our larger hospitals.
And so you're in the hospital and your hospitalist is remote. Sounds crazy, but think of it. Because the physician is remote, they're now become more efficient. And because they're more efficient, they can spend more time with you at the bedside. And let's say if you forget to ask a question, right, which commonly happens, I get plenty of sleep all the time and I forget things all the time, right? What we can do now is you can talk to that nurse that is ICU or step down level trained or has that experience and say, oh, I forgot to ask a question to my physician. She'll give the physician a call and we'll beam the physician right back in the room so you can get more face time, right? So really, the big thing here is access to the hospitalist, right, is far greater in this model because we've created efficiencies with the hospitalist being remote. The other thing that we're looking at is the AV system or the audio-visual system that we're going to be utilizing is going to have a Zoom or Teams-like base where we can now conference in people that are not at the hospital, that you want to be part of the hospital rounding and discharge planning, right? And for those that want to visit you, and I'm extending the time, it's probably more like half of it, but 90 seconds to get from your car to the patient's bedside, right? Because of our facility is so small, and because our facility is so small, the amount of disruptions that you're going to have if you are admitted are going to be fairly minimal, right? Next slide, please. And because of the way we're set up, I've experienced in my past life 99th percentile inpatient patient experience. There's no such thing as 100th. And how we do that is because the efficiencies that we've gained with time allows us to spend time with the patient, with the family, ask questions, right? The nurse to patient ratio is small. Right? We're looking at most a 1-to-3 nurse to patient ratio, right? Which is very difficult to find. And how can we do that? Again, because of the size of our facility, right? It really comes down to the efficiencies that we gain in our facility. Next slide, please. So now we transition to EMS. How are we going to better serve EMS? When you look at a traditional emergency department, you're looking at a good turnaround time for EMS when they drop a patient off at the hospital to when they leave the hospital of about 30 minutes. That's a reasonably good time. Here we look at it as at about 9 minutes. So that means our EMS trucks in the community are going to be in service more often so they can respond to more calls within the township, within their territory. It also reduces their expenses, right? So it helps them from a business standpoint because they're able to go on more calls, right? That's what we want. We're bringing the hospital to the community to service the community. And it's really neighbors taking care of neighbors. A lot of the nurses, a lot of the techs, a lot of the staff, some of the leaders that we're hiring right now come from 2 to 5 minutes away from the hospital right now. So it's really neighbors taking care of neighbors. So you'll have some, recognizable faces if you come into our facility, right? The other thing that we've been doing is really working with Chief Lutz, his staff, EMS, and Mark, the fire department back here, getting them into the facility, letting them walk through the facility. I mean, Chief Lutz and I kind of talked about security protocols, and if we need to have an incursion force come in, how are we going to do that, right? So we're really starting to coordinate on our physical security presence, right? But this is your hospital, right? This is your hospital, and I'm here to make sure that we meet your standards, right? Thank you very much for your time. Next slide, please. And I had to throw Chairwoman Schellenberger up there, right? So we're gonna be coordinating a time to get all the rest of the board into the facility before we open up. But it's been my pleasure up to this point, working on the construction and operations with Dr. Bertoni, Vicki Diamond, and everybody else from WellSpan to really bring life-saving care to this community, right? Questions? Yes, sir.
Quick question that I do have a follow-up. So, can you bring up the footprint?
Yes.
Is it possible to bring up that vehicle?
Yep.
Okay, so where is the walk-in entrance and where is the emergency entrance?
So the walk-in entrance is on the right, on the bottom. And then the emergency department entrance is on the top where that vestibule is, and it's gonna when we have it completed, it's gonna say emergency over top.
So my comment is going to be, I am so happy with the project make sure of your success, I want to make sure that PennDOT and the township is coordinating. I know the area. I want to make sure that it's like, we usually talk about the last mile. I'm talking about the last quarter mile to make sure we have a flow and something called level of service. Get the vehicles in there without, going around some of the businesses. I'd be happy to address it. You didn't introduce Bob Riley.
He needs no introduction.
Yeah.
He knows how to get things done. That's my comment. Bob, can you deal with that?
You got it, Joe. You got it.
Yeah, so I'll do it now. Save the best for last, right? I'm gonna introduce the Bob Riley, not just Bob Riley. It's the Bob Riley. I'll talk with our construction and real estate folks to make sure that we're looking at the flow of traffic. And if we're having any kind of concerns, I'll talk with Bob, and then we'll bring it up to the local area. Thank you very much for that.
Good point, Joe.
Yes, ma'am. So we will have 2 trauma bays, right? But the reason why we have to have trauma bays is because if somebody comes in walking off the street, we have to have the ability to stabilize and transfer, right? So if a car accident comes in and we're the closest facility to stop the bleeding, our role is to stabilize, set up emergent transfer, figure out if that needs to be a ground transfer or it needs to be flown out, and then get the patient to the appropriate trauma center, right?
Well, I just want to say I think this is the best thing that happened to Newberry Township.
Well, thank you. Any other questions?
I had a question. When you're talking to a doctor via Zoom, will family members have the option to be on that?
We will. Yep. So our fixed AV model is going to have a Zooms or Teams-like platform where we will be able to reach out to family members if the patient's going to have to agree or authorize us to be able to do so. But yes.
And one more question, just out of curiosity more than anything else. Are these facilities like standalone profitable, or are they relying on the network to?
Yeah. So, great question. Because of the size, they're very, very financially solvent. And because of the size, again, goes back to the size, that's how we're able to increase staffing to different levels or different patient ratios than you see at a traditional facility. So that's how we're able to get that 1 to 3 patient ratio for an inpatient unit, or flex up our staffing if we get a huge influx of patients, and then just have that extra staff go home. So because of the facility size and the cost of the facility, it actually is a little bit more financially solvent.
Okay, that's all I had.
I have a question. So you keep referring to Carlisle, Newberry Township, Shrewsbury. Is that what that level encompasses, or are you just grouping those together for your territory?
So we're grouping these together, right? So we're having an individual facility in Carlisle, an individual facility here, and an individual facility in Shrewsbury.
So has WellSpan done this in other areas, or are those currently the 3 standalone?
These are currently the 3 standalones that are all being built right now, but I've had previous experience elsewhere running this type of model.
No. Thank you.
You're welcome. Saw a hand back here. Yes, sir.
You have medical emergency at your house. The ambulance shows up. The ambulance coming here first, or the ambulance going somewhere else? Is that up to the ambulance?
So it's going to be mainly up to the ambulance crew, right? They're going to be the ones that are making the recommendation. So like Dr. Bertoni was saying, if you're having a STEMI or a heart attack, there's a special unit that you need to get to called the catheterization lab, so they can balloon and help blood move through the heart. We do not have that, but there's a lot of facilities, a lot of traditional hospitals that don't have a cath lab. If you're having a certain type of stroke, you need to get to an endovascular suite. We don't have that, and again, a lot of traditional hospitals don't have that endovascular suite as well. Correct. Correct. Correct.
Any other questions?
Residents of the community, board, thank you very much for your time and inviting us here. This has been a pleasure. We're looking forward to February. And, you know,
Will you
we're
be
re-
having an open house for the residents to come see?
Absolutely.
Okay, stay tuned.
Absolutely. Yeah, stay tuned.
Thank you.
All that is actually, the date's being solidified for all of that now.
Okay.
And once we get that, I'll definitely.
We'll get
you
that
know,
out in our,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
I am looking for a motion to approve 2026 propane bid Rhodes Energy for $1.09 per gallon.
I'll make a motion we approve the 2026 propane bid from Rhodes Energy.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Looking for a motion to approve. Okay. Opposed? I'm sorry, forgive me. Looking for a motion to approve Fireman's Relief Disbursement, Newberry 50,825, Goldsboro 25,412, York Haven 25,412, for a total of $101,650.85.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Discussion? Does everybody
just-
understand? Go ahead.
Just so everybody understands what that is, this is money that's given to the fire departments through your tax on your homeowner's insurance. This money is given to them to buy safety equipment, training funds, and a few other things are allowed. This is audited every 3 years. I believe the state comes in and does an audit. But yeah, it's a pass-through money, but it's a tax that you're already paying, and it's coming back to your community.
Thank you. Did I do a motion? Looking, pardon me? Looking for everyone in favor of this approved Fireman's Relief Disbursement?
Aye.
Aye.
Second.
Opposed?
Opposed, thank you. Oppose. Looking for an adoption amendment resolution authorizing submission of an LSA Category 4 Facilities Local Share Assessment grant application to the Commonwealth Financing Authority up to $425,000 for the Public Works Compliance and Accountability Project. In other words, a street sweeper. This is Resolution 2025-29. Looking for approval? All in favor?
We didn't get the motion yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Looking for a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion we approve Resolution 2025-29.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Looking to adopt amended resolution number 2025-30, authorizing submission of an LSA Category 4 Facilities Local Share Assessment. Grant application up to $260,000 for 2 fully upfitted patrol vehicles. Looking for a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Discussion.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Oppose? I think this is my first rodeo. Looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-33, approving Amendment Number 1, the direct allocation of a portion of the manager, comptroller, treasurer, admin salaries, effective date 2025 to the sewer cash management policy. Looking for a motion?
I'll make a mo-
What that is some of Jane's salary, some of the manager's salary, and some of the administrative people. Part of their wages come from the sewer funds, and there has to be a resolution to do that. It's been done for a couple of years, and there's never been a resolution, so we're bringing that up to date and getting that done.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion we do that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Looking for a motion to approve and publish the Consolidated Sewer Cash Management Policy amended September 23rd, 2025, reflecting Resolution 2025-33 and Amendment Number 1. Looking for a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can we,
Discussion?
Did-
Go ahead.
can we have a little bit of
Yeah,
explanation of that?
So it's sort of, the amendment ties everything together because there was already a policy in place. So this is to make note that the amendment's going to go within the policy. The policy was generated in 2017, I believe. So the amendment you voted on gets attached to this policy.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Looking to adopt Resolution 2025-34, amending the supplementing Resolution 2023-9 to identify the sources of interim financing for the multi-use emergency services building and construction project. Discussion? Sounds like, you want to go into that? Anybody? Okay.
Oh, I mean, I can explain it real
Yeah.
quick. So we're still working on submittal to the office budget for the grant. Some of the things that they were looking for, we just had to change the scope a little bit, and changing the scope to change the numbers. And they were also requesting that showing that we had funds that were not part of the loan process, so we just had to verify accounts back then that we had the funds in our account.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
No.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion to authorize a $3,000 transfer from within the general fund to the events committee, general fund line items to support upcoming community events. Looking for a motion?
I'll make that motion. We authorize the $3,000 transfer.
I'll second.
Discussion, just so you folks know, this was discussed very early in the year. We're just now getting to the point to get that money transferred. We have it been in hold, and we're just doing it now. Yes. No. No, we're not under the Parks and Recs. Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-35, authorizing the Comptroller Treasurer to open a PLGIT fire tax account to transfer $350,000 from the ACNB, formerly Traditions Bank, fire tax account ending in X98582 into the new PLGIT fire tax account, with funds remaining restricted to fire tax purposes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Discussion? All in favor?
No.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion to discontinue the township subscription to Savvy Citizen effective December 31st, 2025, and to not renew for calendar year 2026.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
No.
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion to authorize the township manager to recruit, interview, hire one sewer laborer, and to extend a traditional offer within the compensation per the approved pay scale and budget, subject to standard pre-employment requirements. Looking for a motion?
I'll make a motion. We authorize the township manager to hire a sewer laborer.
You got it?
Second.
All right.
Discussion? All in favor?
No.
Aye.
I do have a question. So do we lose someone, or are we just hiring? Okay.
Just
Yes.
like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just enough we could get on the agenda to
Okay,
Okay.
awesome.
starting to fill replacement.
It's a tough job.
Yeah, it is. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion to move and amend the general fund budget to appropriate $250 for 5 memorial bricks, $50 each, to recognize the fallen first responders, and authorize the comptroller treasurer to remit payment. These are for our own people within the township that we have lost over the last 5 to 10 years. So we're going to give them a memorial location right under our American flag under here.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Looking for a motion to approve the hiring of Ellen Mitchell to the position of sewer admin, effective October 1, 2025, at the rate of $25 per hour.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
That's to replace Donna, who has moved up to our codes enforcement officer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion to approve Jason Christine to the Planning Commission term end date, December 31st, 2027. Jason, you want to stand up and say hello to the gang?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Paul, that's your new planning person on your board.
Dave.
Or Dave, I'm sorry, Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Yep.
Your,
We
your
were
speech-
fast, weren't we?
Your speech worked pretty quick, didn't it?
Ask and you shall receive.
I'm looking for approval to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Looking to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Second.
Meeting is,
We didn't vote on that.
oh. All in favor of voting on adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting closed. Thank you.
Yeah.